HQN Books and HarlequinAudio present Stealing Kisses in the Snow by Joe Mcnally, performed by Piper Goodeve. Chapter 1. Piper Montgomery was plunging the toilet in room 12 of the Taggart Inn when her 4-year-old daughter announced she wanted to dress up as Deadpool for Halloween. It wasn't even 10 o'clock on a Wednesday morning, and this was already turning into one of those days. Piper was pretty sure she already knew the answer to her next question, but she asked anyway. "Lily, where did you even hear of Deadpool?" Lily brushed her white blonde curls from her face with a big smile. "Ethan told me. He said Deadpool was a superhero, and he wears red, and red's my favorite color, so it's perfect." Piper sat back on her heels on the marble bathroom floor. Mr. and Mrs. Carlyle would be finished with breakfast soon, and they'd expect their bathroom to be fully functional when they got back. But Lily's grandmother would have some expectations, too. She could just imagine the look of horror on Susan Montgomery's face if her granddaughter dressed up as a foul-mouthed superhero. It would be just one more thing Piper had failed at since Tom's death. "But Gigi already bought you that pretty butterfly costume, remember?" Lily's face scrunched. "Ethan says butterflies are stupid. He says—" "Yeah, Ethan says a lot of things." Her grip tightened on the wooden plunger handle, crinkling her rubber gloves. She had no doubt this whole Deadpool idea was her 13-year-old son's payback, because she'd suggested he might be too old for trick-or-treating this year. Or it could be payback for her working 2 jobs up until a week ago, or for moving them into a house he claimed to hate. Or it could just be payback for the fact that Piper was here and his father was dead. She missed the sweet little boy who used to cling to her legs and declare his love for her so loudly that strangers would laugh. It was hard to reconcile that child with the sullen teen Ethan had grown into. But he'd been through a lot in a few short years. They all had. She sighed in the direction of the clogged toilet. "I think Ethan was teasing you, honey. He knows you're too young to be Deadpool. It's not appropriate." "Oh, I know what a prop rat means." Lily loved big words. "It means what people expect, right? So people wouldn't expect me to be Deadpool and they wouldn't like it?" Piper could think of one person who definitely wouldn't like it. "That's right, honey. So let's talk later, and we'll come up with something for you to wear that will make everyone happy." Except Ethan, of course. But making her son happy seemed a lost cause these days. She put her frustration into her plunging efforts, and was relieved when the toilet drained with a whoosh. Lily clapped her hands and started dancing. Victory dances for toilets that flushed. Livin' the dream. Piper wiped down the bathroom, then shooed her daughter out to the hall. Plumbing wasn't normally her responsibility at the inn. She usually handled cooking breakfast and doing some cleaning for the owner, Iris Taggart. But Iris broke her hip a week ago, leaving Piper, the only employee, as the temporary woman in charge. Since Iris was 80, temporary could last a while. As long as Piper was in charge, she was not paying a plumber $100 for a job she could handle on her own. She'd just peeled off her rubber gloves and tucked them and the plunger into the hallway closet when Mr. Carlyle came up the stairs. Just in time. She doubted the guests she'd served salted caramel pancakes to 40 minutes earlier would want to see their cook with a toilet plunger in her hand. She gave him a bright smile as she grabbed Lily to stop her from twirling and singing about toilets. "Your room is all set, Mr. Carlyle. So sorry for any inconvenience. If you'd like, I can box up some of those cookies your wife liked, so you'll have a snack while you tour the wineries today." "That was fast. Then again, you probably have a plumber on call with a place this ancient." He looked around the hallway, with its bold floral wallpaper, and wrinkled his nose. She understood the sentiment. She'd been campaigning for a few months now to get Iris to update the decor, but the old woman wasn't a fan of change. Mr. Carlyle shook his head as he put his key in the door. "No offense, but coming to Rendezvous Falls was my wife's idea of a good time, not mine. But I've heard there's a distillery around here."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?